Hey, Passionators, it's Eden. I just wanted to stop by quickly and talk about something that came up in my news feed. I see pretty regularly this whole idea of breadcrumbing, and I think it's time we maybe put a voice to it, drew some lines around it so we know what it is and why it has no place in a real relationship. Can we just talk? Breadcrumbs may be good for the kitchen, but for a relationship, that would be a no. For those who may not know, breadcrumbing is a new catchphrase basically for people who decide that they're going to give the absolute least that they can give to any relationship and still maintain the interest of the other party. So this is the person who calls you when it's convenient for them, or they text you when they want something, or they disappear for days or weeks or months at a time. And then when they resurface like they haven't been anywhere. So, yeah, it is increasingly common. I hear about it personally more and more often. And people are accommodating this in the name of, well, it's just the way modern relationships go. Uh, Social media makes it so easy to do, and people tolerate it. Well, people tolerate a lot of stuff. That doesn't mean it's okay for you to do it. That doesn't make it a good idea. Just because somebody will put up with it doesn't make it a good idea, especially if a real relationship is what you want. You can't text your way into that. Hi, Angelique. I'm so glad to see you here. Yeah, this whole breadcrumbing thing, and adults are doing this. It's not like this is something that just millennials are doing. This isn't the exclusive domain of young people. There are people over 40 doing this, and they're doing it like it's okay. They're doing it like it actually means something, or like it actually matters. So yeah, I think it's just another level of foolery that people will engage in if you allow them to. And there's no reason to allow it, because when it's time to get face to face with you, like when they want to have sex, they're not trying to do that by text. They're not trying to breadcrumb you into that. So however they're trying to get into your bed, that's how they need to relate to you as well. If they're not in the bed with you, they need to talk to you too. If they're not trying to get your clothes off, they need to touch you too. If they're not trying to talk you into something you really don't want to do, they need to talk to you too. So make sure that if a relationship is what you want, that you're doing the things that are relationship conducive, that you're doing the things that actually make a relationship work. Whatever walls you throw up to try to separate yourself, to try to keep from getting closer, to try to keep away from risk and vulnerability, all of those things keep you from real connections. So don't get caught up in those if a relationship is what you really want. Just remember that breadcrumbing is good for the kitchen. It makes food taste good. It does absolutely nothing for relationships. Stop pretending like you can breadcrumb your way into something that's actually going to matter later on, because it isn't. Hi, Tanisha. Thanks for coming in, sweetie. I just had to say something about this because I keep seeing it on my news feed. It's really kind of hard for me to accept that it's so common, especially with people over 40. I can't understand why this is something that they do regularly and act like they're confused when they don't get a real relationship out of it. Well, I text them all the time. And Like, I stay in touch with them all the time. Really, how do you stay in touch? Well, I text a lot. You have a phone. Why are you just texting? The phone does do more than that. You know, when you're trying to get with them, you're not on the phone doing that. So, however you conduct your relationship intimately, that's how you need to conduct your relationship when you're not being intimate. If they can make time for you to get in bed with you, then they need to make time for you when you're not getting into bed. Hey, Michelle, that's right. Sweep the breadcrumbs out of your heart. That is not nourishment. That's not even a snack. That's a manipulation. And please don't try to turn it into something else, because that's not what it is. It is meaningless. When people text you, that's supposed to be a quick exchange of information. I'm on my way. I got held up in traffic. I'm at the store. Do you need anything? Things like that. If you all are texting each other paragraphs, or if one person is falling off the edge of the earth and going off the grid for days, maybe weeks at a time, and then you see them again and they pop up like, how you doing? How your mom and them doing? Where you been? Yeah, why don't we? And there's no acknowledgement at all that they disappeared from your entire world for all of that time. They didn't know if you were alive or dead. They didn't know if there was a crisis in your world. They didn't know if there was an opportunity for them to show up for you in a whole new way. Hey, Shar. Hi, Horace. It's good to see you all too. I just had to say something about it because, like I said, I keep seeing it, and people keep trying to justify it and rationalize it and accommodate it, and it's never going to work. It's never going to give you the feeling of closeness and security and comfort that you really need in order to understand that what you have has any substance in it at all. If it's going to have any substance in the bed, it has to have substance outside of the bed. And that takes time. It takes effort. It takes a little imagination. It takes some creativity. It takes some fun. But it works if you work it. It's not natural. It doesn't just happen. You won't stumble on it. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. You can't just fall into it. But you can work your way into it. You do it with every text message anyway. If you're going to send a text message, make it matter. Make it say something significant. Make it be something that lets the other person know that you're thinking of them in a way that shows them that you care. That you care about how they are. That you care about who they are. That you care about what they like. That you care enough to think about them and to stop and let them know it. So the whole, I'm just going to give you enough to keep you hanging on, that's a classic manipulation 101. But I don't really want you. I just don't want anyone else to have you. I don't really want to keep you, but I don't want you available for anybody else. Or my personal favorite, I want to see you happy. I just don't want to see you happy without me. Gotta let that one sink in, because that gets used a lot. That gets used a lot. I want to see you happy, but I don't want to see you happy without me. Hey, Maurice. Hey, Shar, tell Maurice I said hi. But seriously, I'm really here just to try to encourage you to do more thinking and less rationalizing. Because the fact is, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. But maybe you just needed another voice to confirm it for you. But your question is, I see you, Michelle, but your question is, why do people do it? Only give out scraps and crumbs. Humph. I like the humph. Here we go, Michelle. I'm going to address that one just for you and for anyone else who may be interested in why they do it. They do it because it's a comfort zone for them. Because they've been getting away with it, because it's been getting them what they want. But you know the real truth? Doesn't matter why they do it. Even if you knew why they do it, it wouldn't matter. The only thing that ever matters is, what are you willing to accommodate? What are you willing to create? What are you willing to negotiate? What will you accept into your world? That's all that matters. If I'm in a car and I'm backing out of my driveway and somebody walks behind me and I didn't see him and I hit them and I break their leg, they go to the hospital and they don't know why I hit them, is their leg any less broken if they find out why I hit them? Is their leg any less broken if I hit them on purpose or if there was a malfunction in the car? Their leg isn't any less broken. The treatment for their injury is going to be exactly the same, whether I intended to hit them or not. The treatment for their injury is going to be exactly the same, whether they know why I hit them or not. I'm trying to encourage you as strongly as I can not to get caught up in whys that do not matter. If you can't do anything about them, they don't matter. And chances are, if it's about somebody other than you, you can't do anything about it. So it doesn't matter. Relationships are not a court of law, and they're not a medical diagnosis. In those instances, why actually means something. History actually means something because it can be relevant to what you're dealing with right now. It can be part of how you got hurt and how badly to expect to be hurt in the future, all of those good things. Motivation has a lot to do in a court of law with how severe a sentence is or isn't. However, in a relationship, there's a whole lot of whys that people ask for the sake of feeling better. They really don't matter. Because even why somebody cheats on you, doesn't matter. What matters is that they cheated on you. Are you somehow less cheated on if they only did it because the opportunity presented itself than if they did it because there was something wrong in the relationship? Are you any less violated? Are you less betrayed? I'm just asking the question. Why they cheated can only be relevant if there's an opportunity for you to do something about it. If it really was something in the relationship where you dropped the ball and resolving that situation can actually bring the two of you back together, then why may actually be relevant. But if this is the 17th time you've asked the question and you still checking through phones and going through emails and that kind of stuff, trying to find out what you already know, then why is just a way to keep the drama going. It's not a way to resolve anything. It's just a way to keep the drama going so that you can justify staying in the situation and making yourself a victim. But when you participate in your own victimization, you are not a victim. You're a volunteer. And real victims of real abuse have a serious problem with everybody trying to claim the victim title. Because here's the difference. Victims are powerless to stop what's happening to them. That's a real victim. A real victim is powerless. They cannot stop their violation. They cannot stop their victimization. They cannot stop the perpetrator from hurting them. But most of the time, people are trying to paint themselves as victims. They're volunteers. They've known from the beginning that they weren't getting what they needed to be secure in their relationship. and they stayed in the relationship anyway. And in many cases, they even got married. But that's another discussion for another time. And I'm not trying to keep you all here all night. Hey, Terry, I'm so glad to see you. Hi. Yeah, all these whys. That's television. That's social media. That's not real life. That's not where we live. That's not actually what's happening. See, I have to do something now. Someone was talking to me about this earlier today. So I'm working on a project about cheating, because we have to deal with this thing the way it is and not the way we want it to be. We put a lot out in social media and on the internet and publicly about cheating and how we behave that just isn't what's actually happening in relationships. And I'm personally just going to rip the covers off of all of that and talk about the way it is, how it is, and not the way we keep talking about it. Because until we deal with it the way it is, we will never get any resolution. And we will never be able to heal our relationships. We will never be able to have the intimacy that we say we want. When we look at these couples who have been together for 20 or 30 or 40 or more years, and they actually still like being together, there's a reason for that. And that reason isn't necessarily because nobody cheated. Work on that one. I'm just saying, life happens the way it happens, not the way we want it to happen. Our job is to find an effective way to deal with it so that it serves us rather than disserves us. So this whole breadcrumbing thing, kibosh. No more of that. Okay? Not if you're going to be an adult in a real relationship, especially an intimate relationship. Now, if all you want is superficial and casual, do you. But don't complain when substance isn't what you have. You don't get to have it both ways. You don't get to put in casual effort and get an intimate outcome. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Okay? So we'll talk more later. I don't want to keep you here all night, although I could. I'd like to. I don't know. But I'll definitely be back. I really appreciate you all tuning in. I appreciate all the thumbs up and all the hearts. Thank you so much. I really do want to bring you things that you can use. I'm not just trying to take up your time and occupy your space. I really want to leave you with something that can be used. I love you all. I love you totally. I'll be back. And if there's something specific you want me to talk about, let me know. And if you want to join my email list, go to EdenAdele.com. EdenAdele.com. Or you can private message me from Facebook. Okay? I will be back to talk to you again soon. And remember, if there's something you want me to talk about, just let me know in the comments. I love you all. Big group hug. And I'll see you again soon. Good night, everybody.